Welcome back, wrestling WWE fans. Tonight we unravel one of the most jaw-dropping and emotional twists to ever close out an episode of Monday Night Raw. What started as chaos ended as something far more powerful: an ambulance ride, an unexpected savior, and the return of a battered tribal chief. Roman Reigns has been many things inside WWE: a champion, a leader, a villain, and at times, a reluctant hero. But what he was on this night was broken, carried into an ambulance after the fallout from Clash in Paris, his empire trembling at the edges. And yet, from the shadows emerged a figure no one expected. AJ Lee, a woman whose fire, resilience, and defiance shaped an entire generation. She has never been defined by submission, never by silence. To see her walking alongside that ambulance, pulling Roman back into the light, sent shockwaves through the WWE universe. Please like, share and subscribe for more WWE content. This story didn't start in Paris, and it didn't start in Raw's arena. It began years ago, with rivalries, betrayals, and the unhealed wounds of the Shield. Roman and Seth have been tethered together by fate since the day their bond was shattered with a single chair. AJ's involvement made it personal in an entirely different way. She represented rebellion, the voice of those who never bowed to the system. Bringing Roman back wasn't just about helping him recover, it was about forcing him to face what Seth Rollins had become, and the team he now commands. Backstage whispers before Raw hinted at Roman being too injured to appear. Seth's allies mocked his absence, claiming the tribal chief had finally been dethroned, his empire crumbling without him. Fans believed it, until AJ's shocking arrival proved otherwise. The camera cut to the ambulance bay, the world watching as AJ Lee, determined and fearless, stepped out with Roman Reigns leaning on her shoulder. He looked battered, his body wrapped in scars from Paris, but his eyes burned with a fire that hadn't dimmed. At first, it felt impossible. Could Roman even stand, let alone fight? His breathing was heavy, his steps unsteady. But AJ's presence wasn't just physical support, it was emotional fuel, reminding him of who he is and why his fight wasn't over. The crowd roared as the arena realized what was happening. AJ wasn't there for herself. She was there to deliver the tribal chief back to the battlefield, back to the very men who thought they had buried him. Then came the shocking climax. The confrontation exploded when Roman, against all odds, stormed into the ring beside AJ to face Seth Rollins and his team. It was less about a match and more about vengeance. Roman didn't arrive with a microphone or a speech. He arrived with fists, fury, and the kind of raw energy only betrayal can summon. Every punch was a message, every slam a reminder that even broken, Roman Reigns is still a force that cannot be erased. Seth Rollins, stunned by the sudden return, tried to rally his men. But the sight of AJ standing ringside, her presence defiant, rattled him in ways no one expected. She was a ghost from the past and a symbol of rebellion in the present. The fight spiraled into chaos. Roman threw himself at Seth's allies, AJ urging him on, her voice cutting through the noise. It wasn't just wrestling, it was war, personal and bitter. When the dust finally settled, Roman stood bruised but unbroken. Seth, retreating with his team, screamed threats that promised this war was far from over. And yet, the image of Roman and AJ standing together burned itself into history. Backstage, whispers spread like wildfire. Some said AJ had crossed a line by involving herself so deeply in bloodline business. Others believed she was the only one brave enough to step in when the empire began to collapse. Roman's family, sources say, were split. Some admired AJ's courage. Others saw it as a betrayal, proof that Roman no longer trusted his blood to stand beside him. That fracture may prove more dangerous than any punch Seth Rollins can throw. The emotional aftermath of Raw left fans shaken. Roman had been pulled from an ambulance, a symbol of defeat, and turned into a warrior once more by the most unlikely of allies. AJ didn't just bring him back to the arena, she brought him back to himself. But the questions linger. Was this alliance born of necessity, or is there something deeper between AJ and Roman? Is this about survival, rebellion, or perhaps a reckoning years in the making? The presence of AJ Lee changes everything. Seth's team may have the numbers, but now Roman has an ally whose spirit cannot be broken. It shifts the balance in a way no one predicted. And yet, the shadow of betrayal still hangs heavy. Roman has trusted before, only to be stabbed in the back. Can he truly lean on AJ, or will this partnership lead to yet another scar on his legacy? The Shield's ghost lingers in every moment. Roman and Seth cannot escape their shared history, and AJ's reemergence makes the past bleed into the present in ways that cannot be ignored. Raw ended not with closure, but with questions. Not with peace, but with war. Roman Reigns returned from an ambulance to confront Seth Rollins' team, and AJ Lee was the hand that pulled him there. And so, we are left with a reflection that cuts deeper than steel chairs and louder than any crowd chant. This was about trust reborn in chaos. It was about betrayal revisited in the middle of the ring. And it was about blood. Blood that no longer guarantees loyalty, but instead marks the painful cost of brotherhood lost.